Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone is having a great Wednesday. Let's see. What was in the water? Is something in the water? Why is everybody awake this morning? What is going on? Why are there so many people here right at opening time? Mr. Pete, Mr. Ed, Mr. TC, Mr. Nick. 4 people here right off the rip. And drummer should be coming in just any second now. So I'd make 5 right off the beginning. Hope y'all are doing good. Not sure why you're all awake this morning. Is there a full moon? Did y'all all turn into vampires and are just now getting back in? What is going on? Yep, there's Mr. Drummer right on time. So it's number 5. Only real topic, TC mentioned that Shadacious. Yeah, the guy went through a post and said all the different parts. He mentioned the liners. He had to use the liners from one and the other. Anyway, I think he broke it down pretty good in one of his comments. I'll try to find that here in just a minute. I myself just woke up from a nap. I got like a 3-hour nap. And so I'm still trying to get some coffee in me. You have to hit refresh for the audio to finally be live, huh? Wonder if that's something on my end or YouTube's end or your end. Not sure. Good morning, Doc Seuss. So yes, I am still trying to get awakened. During the night, when I was awake earlier, I had this in my pocket still. The Manix 2XL. I used it a couple times during the night, opened some packages. I had a bunch of watch parts come in the mailbox, and I also had a bundle of some knives come in, so I used it to open those. It's a big old knife. I like big old knives. So that's what I had in my pocket. And then I got a bundle, which includes another TS430, which I did not need, but this one is actually already sold. So that one will be going out in the mail today. Then it also included the Kaiser Original, which somebody anodized in a bluish gray kind of color. It's got a little bit of a fade to it. I'm not sure how well I like the anode, but it doesn't look like it's been used. It's got a mirror edge on it. Not sure that you can see that edge, but I've got another one, TC Blades. If you want one, I sold this one because the pocket screw is stripped on it. I mean, the clip screw is stripped on it, and the guy knew it. But I've got 2 more of these. I've got the green one we anode on a video, and then I've got a brand new one in the box still. So we can talk if you want one of those. But yeah, I got that Kaiser Original. I've already got one of these too, so this is for sale. I will DM you. And then I got another drop bear in 154 CM. This one looks great. This one, the handles on this one have been dyed black. I'm going to re-dye them black to try to get this pattern a little. There's a little bit of a, where it didn't soak in, a little bleed through. But another drop bear that is also for sale. And then I finally got me a Vosteed Corgi, which I've been wanting to try out. So there's that one. It is a super cool knife. The rear flipper. This one also has a mirror edge on it. Not sure if y'all can see that, but yeah, Kaisers are very hard to beat. But Vosteed is cool too. I did get the chapter ring for my watch that makes it look way better. Is actually, let's see. Let's see. Gaming Sandals posted a new Kaiser he got. I don't know if it's new, but it's a Sheepdog XL, one of 200 in this variety. 20 CV. It's a special edition one, I guess. But I did get a new chapter ring for my watch. And the one on the right is the one that, the way I did have it, the new chapter ring is on the left, and the new chapter ring looks way better. I haven't finished building it yet, but you can see that the one on the left looks way better. All right, enough of that. Let's see. Knife picks. Ed posted another picture of the annex yesterday. We got that. And then let's go over to look at what the guy said about that Shaudacious real quick, because I know in one of his posts he really broke it down about what he used. Let's see if I can find that really quick. So, Shaudacious knife, Reddit. I think the best way to figure out what he said he used, he said original Shaman screws, bodacious screws are too short. He couldn't get all 4 screws to grab the Flatanium backspacer he had. I can't figure out why. Original spacer works fine. And then he says, let me make sure I got the right guy. So, let's see. Guarantee. All right, so let me go to this guy and look at his posts and see if he has more than one about that knife. Let's see. In fact, I believe right back here on the Google search. Okay. Flatanium Shaman scales on bodacious blade, liners, and backspacers. Shaman screws. Bodacious screws are too short. Frankenstein monster. So he had to use the bodacious liner on the Shaman scales. So TC, I don't know if that should help. But you can't use the Shaman liners. You have to use the bodacious liners in the Shaman scales. So basically, everything, the Shaman screws and the Shaman scales, but everything else from the bodacious, I believe. And he talks about it one more time when he talks about the pivot. And I'm not sure how long. This was 8 months ago, so this guy has quite a few posts. So let me see. All right, here's a side-by-side comparison. That's a picture showing the Shaman versus the Shaudacious. And the bodacious scales, with not having a reversible clip like that, look way better, cleaner. here's another one. Let's see. Not sure. I know in one of these posts I read, he broke down about the pivot. I don't see it in that one either. This is the last one, I think. Be prepared for some finagling. It took a few tries to get any play out. Keep center and have. Wish that I've written them down, but off memory I used the bodacious blade and pivot. The shaman pivot is just a hair too wide and resulted in play. Then I used one liner from shaman and one from bodacious. I can't remember exactly why. Have to use screws from the shaman due to scale thickness, and I used an aftermarket shaman backspacer. All in all, it took 3 or 4 takedowns and reassemblies before I got it just right. So that's the one I was thinking of, where he talked about using one scale from one and one scale from another. He said he wrote it wrong. He used one liner from each knife. Both scales are the shaman. The liners are slightly different. But you're right about needing some hand fitting. Anyway, if you want to go look it up, his name is Upbeat-Fondant 9185 on Reddit. He has quite a few posts about it. That's definitely not an ugly knife, Ed. You can't say that one has nothing but clean lines. There's no way that one could be ugly. Doesn't have enough lines to be ugly. I think it looks super cool myself. I love how the blade goes all the way back on the bodacious blade, all the way back, whereas on the shaman it's a lot shorter. That's kind of what he was showing on here, is how much of the blade you lose on the shaman compared to the bodacious. So yeah. Yeah, I'm guessing. I don't know if you only have to use the Flytanium. I tried one day, but I didn't. I bought a bodacious. I tried with the clones, and I don't think the clones are the same. So that was my problem. Good morning, Sever 7 and Scott. I wanted to discuss with y'all what each one of y'all feels like your best budget knife is. MC just had a video not long ago. He does every year about his top pick for all time of budget knives. And there was a few in there that surprised me. Made his list of best budget for all time. And then there's a few that didn't. The first one he listed is the QSP Parrot. And that is one that I don't have not had. But it looks like it's a super cool knife. For $32, you can't beat it. Comes in multiple colors, multiple materials, I guess. Cool little knife. What do you think is your best budget? What is your opinion on the best budget knife? He started with the QSP Parrot. And then he listed, of course, the QSP Penguin. If you've ever watched B's Blades, you'll know that everybody's got to have a penguin. The penguin is another super cool, around the same price knife. I have held one of those. It's $32 as well. Pretty close to the same knife with different blade shape. So the QSP Penguin was on his list. And then he had quite a few CJRB models, starting with the Pyrite Light. They do make some expensive models of it, but they have the cheaper $32. They actually have quite a few versions of it now. They have the titanium versions. They have the FRN versions. They have the button lock. They're all these are button locks. I'm wondering, oh, they have the large and the regular size. And they even have one with their Damascus. Pyrite is a great knife. I don't have a light version of it. I'm not really into light versions. Scott, you got 5 penguins? I've been meaning to grab one. I still don't have one myself. My sister had one that I did hold, I believe. Sever 7, you mentioned Miguron. Miguron made MC's list as well. Let me finish with the CJRBs and then I'll go over. He listed the CJRB Acacia, which is one I'm not familiar with. And it's under $30 on Amazon. It is this one. Looks like the black one, which is probably what I would get. It's $33 with an 11% coupon, so that gets it under $30 itself. The blue one looks cool too. I do like the handle milling on the G10, I guess it is. But I'm not familiar with the Acacia. The Mini Acri, I haven't. I've got an Acri and an Ecri. It does have a good detent for a crossbar lock knife. Well, it's always good. And then he listed a CJRB Prado, which is another one I have not held. Let's see here. Prado. It is a little bit pricier knife. It's one that I've liked and almost gotten. I believe it has the same, well, no, it has a little bit different, but they have a stainless steel version of it. It reminds me a lot of some of the artisan knives. Of course, there's a reason. I really do like the blade shape on it. But I've not held a Prado either. Pete, these are MC Metal Complexes. He does a list every year of his budget. No, it's 4 days ago. These are still his all-time budget knives. I was asking y'all what y'all thought your best budget knife is. I don't necessarily agree with his opinion. I'm just giving it, showing what he listed. But I just wanted to know what y'all thought the best budget knife was. This video was just 4 days ago. I was just going over his top 15 real quick. Yeah, and then he lists a few. Of course, the Kershaw Iridium, which I really like too. I'd have to say if there's any knife that I could support by Kershaw, it would be the Bel Air and the Iridium. They both impressed me for the price and the way they feel. They both feel great. This, of course, is the Mini Iridium, but that same color and style is the one I like in the regular Iridium. And I don't know, there's something about them. They feel like great little knives. They offer a couple different blade shapes in them, I believe. And yeah, this one's on sale, so you can get a regular Iridium for $58, which, like I said, I've got a problem with Gerber and Kershaw since the late 90s. But this one is one that I've really liked. And yeah, I'm glad I got the Corgi to try out. What did I say? Yeah, I'm glad I grabbed one of those. And then he mentioned a couple. What surprised me is he mentioned 3 Migrons. He mentioned the Moyarl, which is one of my favorites for sure. I've got two. No, I've got one of the titanium nice versions, and then I've got one of the cheap G10 versions. But the Moyarl is a great knife. Love the blade shape. Love the feel of it. Under $50 for the budget one is a great price. And then they offer for $200. They have for $219 actually. They have some super cool higher end milled versions. I've got one of the plain ones that they don't even list anymore. They don't even offer it any longer. But it's just full titanium. But I've got a white and black one too, just like this one. This one's 20% off. Let's see. And then he lists a couple of more Migrons that I just didn't actually even think of. The M Valona. I don't have one of the M Valonas yet. It's another one I've been wanting to get the titanium version of, but just haven't. But I like the overall looks of it. It has a really clean lines. I don't know why they cut off the stupid picture again. Oh, they didn't. The screen just did. That's a real clean $50 knife too. When you move up out of the $50 range for budget, you gain a lot more knives. So the $100 category, probably quadruples the number of knives that you can get into. So I'm thinking when he said budget, he was trying to keep them around $50. That's another great one. And then he listed one I wasn't familiar with at all, which is the Migron Vacor. And I'd never heard of it actually. Whoops. That's not it. This is it right here. There's only three models of it, and it's a $40 Migron, and it's a crossbar. And I really do like the blade shape on it and the blade finish. In fact, it's $43 and got a 20% off. I don't know if that's already been added in. Maybe it has. Yeah, I guess it has. But yeah, that looks like a super cool knife I'd like to try out. I guess the reason I haven't seen it is because they don't make a titanium version of it. Drummer likes the Mini Praxis. Yeah, the Praxis is a great knife. Let's look at the Mini Praxis. Let's go back to Blade HQ, I guess. Type in Mini Praxis. So yeah, 35, 47 for the Ultim. The button lock versions are a little more expensive, it looks like. But the Mini, yeah, it's one of those knives where almost to me looks like the blade to handle ratio is off, but it's right at that borderline. It's got just the right enough blade for handle, and it looks great closed. Some knives that have too big of a blade don't look right closed, and this one does. It's right at that sweet spot of 3 inches. That's what she said. Yeah, I really like the blade shape on the Praxis. The Anakai dropped today. All right, let me finish up real quick with his top 15, even though they don't matter. He has the Kaiser Militao. Of course, Militao is such a great knife. I would have to say it deserves a spot in that list, in my opinion. And it is a little pricier, but they have a budget version for around $70. Actually, they have the minis, around $50 to $60. And then they have them all the way up to $219. So they offer quite a wide range. There's a mini for $55. Then you got a full size one. For $69 and $65. That's ugly to me. Completely ugly. That one's $69. And that one's $219. So pretty wide range, but great knife nonetheless. The Parakeet. It's got Sever 7. It's got the FG in the name of it. We saw it at Blade Show. It's something FG. I can't remember what the name of it was, but it's got FG on the end. Let's see. And then he had the Civivi Yonder and the Vastid Raccoon and Porcupine. So the Yonder is another one of those big blade knives. It's got it almost has too much handle, not enough blade ratio. But yeah, the Yonder is a cool knife from Civivi. And that's pushing the budget up to 67, so I guess that's why they were at the bottom of the list. But yeah, the Civivi Yonder, the Vastid Raccoon, which I do have one of. And I love my Raccoon as well. The Raccoon is right here. And they make a Raccoon Cub. And they may offer it in a few different blade styles too, so you can get the cleaver, another great little $60 knife, or you can get the drop point, for $60 also. Another super great. Yeah, the Tenable Fermi. That was one of the ones I believe that she was going to send me to review. I need to get her to send me one, because it's one I'd like to check out for sure. And the Porcupine is the last one on his list, and then we'll finish going over the ones y'all suggested also. Porcupine is a $70 knife. Button lock. Top liner actuated button lock. It's got that clean classic blade shape that I do enjoy. And it's got the 3-inch blade. Let's go check out the Fermi real quick. Tenable Fermi. Yep, I should have got that one instead of the one I got. I would have liked it better, but hopefully she'll send me that one as well. I told her I liked both of them, and she sent me the Ray, so... But yeah, I really love the way that looks. Super clean. Love that blade. I don't like the recurve on it. I just don't like recurves. So I'm glad I finished my review last night. So even though this one does have the holes in it, the dimples, I guess I'm kind of glad that this one doesn't have a recurve and she sent me this one. But this is basically the same size knife as the Fermi. And I do like the modified blade tip with the swedge up there. It kind of adds some angles to it, but I don't like those dimples. Wish it was solid, but it's all right. Which one looks like a Rosie? The recurve Fermi? I don't know that it looks like a Rosie really, but maybe a little. I guess the handles kinda, except they got a little curve on the back. I think you just have Rosie on the brain, possibly, Ed. TC's been working on, I guess, polishing the blade on a what is up with, is there, oh yeah, he's let me show y'all what he's been working on. He's been working on polishing the blade on the Ozark Trail. Oh, the Vosteed? Sorry, I was one knife behind. I didn't. So that's what TC's been working on. I love the action on those little things. Like, you really can't beat it, especially for $10. Let me go back and see which one Ed was saying looked like the Rosie. I didn't catch me. Let's see. Aha! The blade on the porcupine. That one does look like a Rosie. The blade does. The handles do too. I guess you would have to ask why the Rosie looks like it, because I believe it probably came out before the Rosie, but I could be wrong. But I've heard it talked about for quite a while. Not sure when the release date was on it, but let's see if we can figure that out and see which one copied which. Looks like it came out. Oh, so it is a newer one. I thought it was old. Okay. So it definitely copied the Rosie then. Ed was right. Doesn't surprise me. I could have sworn it was older than that, but it only came out this year? Wow. Well, there's your answer then, because they capitalized on on the love of the Rosie, I guess, to give you one for $70 with a button. Oz Machine, Roosevelt, release date. See how long before. Doesn't really have a release date, but looks like 2022 was the first MC video on it, so at least 3 years. Yeah, it's the Buster FG, and it looks great. I agree. It's the Buster Snacks. And it's basically, it's the Wii version of my Dr. Doom knife. So that's a Buster. It just has the well, actually, here, let me show you how big it is in my hands, and then you can kind of judge for yourself how big it is overall. But the Buster, and they make a mini Buster just because of the size of it. But right here, this one is the flipper version, but they make that now. They're making the Buster version, but you can see across my hand how big the Buster is. It's a very big knife, and it even makes the Mannix 2 look small. Mannix 2 XL, sorry, the extra large Mannix 2. So the Buster is a great knife, and it was the Snex developed this knife. So now since Snex developed the Vision also with his lock, I guess he developed a version of this with that lock to combine them both, which is a great idea to me. I'm definitely going to grab one when they come out. But yeah, you can tell the size of this thing. I could get almost 5 fingers on it comfortably. Relaxed, I can definitely get 4. Way of Knife did this. They did all the Doom stuff on here. This is their sticker anno. They did the picture of Dr. Doom and the lightning bolts and such. That's who did that one, but let's go back and check out that video. He said about halfway through he shows it. That's another cool one I'll probably have to get because it's a big boy. I think it's funny how he reversed on that one. So I don't know if you saw the line in the middle, but he reversed. Let me show you what he reversed. So, oh, whoops. Y'all can't hear that, but it's all good. I don't know why that came on, but but right here on this slot, it's partially covered on this part towards the blade. And he left that same slot in the new version, but he moved that partially covered part to the back here. So I'll just show you one more time so you can kind of notice that. Let me see, where's that link again? There it is. So if you notice right here, the part that's covered in that channel is at the back of the knife instead of the front of the knife, but it does still have the same. And he put a giant lanyard hole in it. So the difference is between now and that one, it's got a big giant lanyard hole, and the back of the, the back of that channel is covered instead of the front. So that's cool. Let's see if I can get it where the overlay would kind of match. Yeah, you can see they covered that channel with the, whoops, the back part, but basically the same knife, same lines. Point on the back, except they added a giant lanyard hole right in the chest of Dr. Doom there. Yeah, super cool lock though. I do like that. Nick, which knife from Civivi? The X1. Not familiar with that knife. Let's see. Civivi X1. Yeah, it's one of those knives where it doesn't look good closed to me. It's a Brian Brown knife though, so so that's cool, but it's got too much blade for handle, in my opinion. When it's closed, it looks okay. But that's basically I would say the Wee Roxy is pretty close to the same. They have a very similar, including the handle. It's got a curve at the end instead of a straight line. But overall, that might be their answer. It might be the answer why they didn't make one, because this would be so similar. And actually, I've been looking for a Roxy 4 for quite a while now. They discontinued it, but that one has a 3.1 inch blade. And the Roxy 4, the lines on it just look a little better to me, because of the length of the blade and the length of the handle. This one has a 4-inch blade, and I think the overall length, it doesn't look so short and choppy. So I've been looking for one of those for quite a while. It's on my list.
It's tricky to give a single definitive overall length for a 4-inch blade knife, as it varies significantly depending on the specific knife's design. However, I can provide you with some general information based on my findings.
ChatGPT, shut up. Check out this length. Oh, is this guns? Palmetto State Armory. Oh, they make Civivi Brazen, Kronos Brazen. Huh. Well, that's pretty cool. I didn't know Palmetto branched out and made knives now, or offered knives, I guess. Is this not a Civivi? Guess not. What are we looking at here? It's a cool knife. What does the, let's see, Brazen knife. Yeah, what's the difference between it and the, okay. The handles, it's got a glass breaker and all. Yeah, Palmetto copied the name, but otherwise they executed well on, if this is their house brand. Oh, Civivi. Why does this Brazen say Kronos? I guess it's a different version maybe, but it is a Civivi. It's got the C on it. It's kind of weird. Nowhere on here does it say anything about Civivi, but yet the pivot has a C on it. That's kind of weird. Guessing it, yeah, it was made by Civivi for Palmetto, and they called it a Kronos. That would be my guess, drummer. Yeah, good call. And they added a glass breaker on the end, which is another cool little addition. Yeah, super cool knife, Sever. Thank you for sharing. And I guess they're wanting it, since they do sell mostly guns, they want it to be outdoor related, so that's why they made it in red. Um, but anyway, I didn't even know they had knives. I've got an AR, Palmetto State Armory AR, one of my ARs. Oh, drummer, so you went to We Knife as well to check about OEM prices? Oh, that's milled aluminum sever for $70. Nice. I didn't even pay attention to what the handle material was. It looked G10 to me, so I just thought it was. But now that you mention it, now it's a little shinier than G10 would be. Yeah, that is a super cool knife. Do they make a regular? Yeah, I would get this black one with the silver blade probably. Even though it's I guess they're all Tantos. That one's right on that border of blade to body ratio too, but it looks good when closed. Yeah, super cool knife. I even like the glass breaker on it. I mean, it's not bad. It's weird seeing a Civivi with the glass breaker. We had a few something's pop up on the Discord. Let's see what that was. Oh, Ed posted a picture of I think that's a mini buster, maybe. Looking at his space bar, I'm guessing that's probably the mini buster. The Keen Natter. Yeah, there's the mini buster for you guys. I think. Could be wrong. It could be the full size. I actually had to use the knife lighter multiple times throughout the night because I can't find my other one. So I had to use the old out the front lighter last night during the night a couple of times. Such a weird thing. It's so thick. Such a weird little knife. We'll leave it out there. It would still poke somebody and make them get back. Brand New American, where has he been? Holy cow. B&A is back. Brand New American posted his Spyderco pick for the day. I've wondered where B&A has been. Let me ask him. I don't think he's in the chat, is he? We need to ask him to join the chat. He was one of the winners that I never did. It's like I sent him a knife and he disappeared, and I thought it was something wrong. Yeah, I wanted to hear if he liked the knife I sent him, and there he is. Good morning, Mr. Brand New American. I wondered what happened to you. Yeah, Custom Knife Factory does make some nice knives, but that's Kevin John. And you know, he made quite a few clones before moving over to CKF. Uh, and I'm wondering when my CKF knives are going to pop up and be ready that I ordered, because I got to have like $2,000 ready whenever they call me to buy those 3 knives that I bought. But wheat quality is unmatched, in my opinion. Largest knife OEM in the world. Uh, wow, that's pretty funny. Uh, Largest knife companies. I've heard that we was the largest knife company. Why does it keep showing me SMKE? Top 10 knife manufacturers in the world in 2023. Yeah, I don't believe this list. Wusthof, Shun, Hinkles. Come on now. America's largest knife factory. I don't know. That's a topic I guess they don't list. Yeah, Kevin John is an interesting fella. They all seem to. Micron is my favorite out of those, out of that topic, of guys that started making clones. Uh, and then moved over to the legit world. Uh, Sam from Micron is 3 years has done a lot. Uh, in my opinion, Kevin John doesn't really make his own. He doesn't make clones anymore since he moved over to CKF, but there are plenty of his clones out. I think he's trying to go legit too with his own brand and CKF. You can see what we see. I'm not looking at anything besides just my camera. I was looking at the Discord and my camera. Uh, I was just talking about Kevin John. I uh, wasn't showing anything. He has his own store, I guess. The Venoms is what he's been focusing on recently. He hasn't been really making any clones as of late. He's just been focusing on the Venom series of knives. And a couple of, he's making his own brand. But he has his own store. Well, no, he doesn't have his own store, but his knives are listed on quite a few stores. But like I said, he hasn't been doing any clones as of late, trying to go legit, I guess. But he is affiliated. He's the guy that all the other ones respect enough to not clone any of the CKF knives. So if you wondered why there hasn't been clones of Evos, it's because of Kevin John. Yeah, they all start doing that. Like Jufool has made his own knives too while he's making clones. They all start making their own knives while they're making clones, and then they eventually get out and go over to a main brand. So that's kind of what Kevin John's done. He started with the clones, then started making his own brand, and then stopped the clones, and then moved over to CKF. And Yeah, the District 9 knives are nice too. Uh, but even Jufool has his own brand now. I've got one actually. Uh, and it's kind of weird. It's cheaper. He only comes out with a few versions and then they don't sell well, so he moves back to clones. He's trying to do his thing. I can't remember the actual knife model that I've got. Um, but it's actually in the back of my car. Let me see if I can find on one of his pages some of the ones he's made. Nothing there. Let's see, where's one of his knives? They all seem to be super rounded. He likes like rounded out knives when he makes his own models. All I'm seeing is clones so far. If anybody has a link to one of the Jufool originals, here's one that he copied from the Pice. So it's just a Jufool copy of the patterning on the Nirvana, but yet the shape isn't like the Nirvana. And they're usually around $30 for his knives. There's one of his branded knives. And he calls them, they say JUL on them. I wonder if you can see that on, I don't know. Yeah, there's one of his original ones. See if I can find another one. Here's no, that's a clone. He hasn't made many. The one I've got is a weird looking knife. I got it in some kind of budget package deal I bought. I would go grab it, but I don't feel like it actually. Where's another one? That's a ZT. I'm sure he's got a bunch of stock because nobody seems to buy them. They just want to buy clones from him. Full made. The one I've got is in G10. I guess I could probably type in Jufool in G10. Oh, you got a Venom, Mr. Ed? I'll look at that picture in just a second. Yeah, I like quite a few of his Venoms. Yeah, I'm just not seeing the Jufool made branded. Oh, there's one. There's the one I've got. I've got that black and white one right there. So that's one of his models, and there's his box. I've got one of his boxes too. The reason I knew he did it is because I've got one of his boxes. I've got this black and white knife right here. It's this $25 one. And that's a weird knife. There's a sharp looking Kevin John Venom. I like the texture on those handles. Oh, he cloned his own knife? That's pretty funny. Uh, Uwu. Yeah, I'm having a big cup of coffee myself. what is the etching chemical? There was a question somewhere. Buckaroo Bonsai, let me reply to him. It's yes, it's public on my YouTube. And then TC, when you go back to gray, you mean what, to stonewash a blade? You use ferric chloride is what it is. Ferric chloride. And you can buy ferric chloride on Amazon. You can buy all the stuff you need on Amazon. I've got some pretty wild chemicals I bought from Amazon. Some stuff I haven't even used yet because I'm scared. But right here, the one I use is MG Chemicals. They seem to have fair prices and good products. When I buy stuff off of Amazon, I use this company. And right outside in my garage out here, I've got all my chemicals sitting here, and they're probably chemicals that aren't supposed to be stored together, but are. But let's look at some of them I've got. So, oh my goodness, I'm back. Wow. Drop the chemicals. That's good. So I do have the big, whoops, y'all aren't seeing, or maybe you are, I don't know. No, you're seeing the, so I've got the big thing that I just showed you of the MG Chemicals ferric chloride. Then I've got some hydrochloric acid. Whoops, why does it keep going away? I've got I got 1 liter of hydrochloric acid. I haven't used it yet. I haven't even opened it yet. Then I've got 1 liter of sulfuric acid that I haven't opened yet. And then, what is this? I don't even know what this is. It says Gauss, keep on burning. Let's see what's in here. I thought this was some kind of chemical. TC, I'm not sure what you're talking about, buddy. Ferric chloride is the only chemical I use on a regular basis. It's what I use for lightning anno and for stone washing. Aha. And then if you want to get hot temperatures, you got to get MAP gas instead of the blue canisters of gas. You get the yellow MAP gas for your torch, and it gets way hotter. So that's what was in that box. It was two cans of MAP gas that I forgot I bought. Yeah, I don't like sulfur either, but sulfuric acid is a little different. It doesn't smell like rotten eggs like sulfur does. And when you go start looking up how to turn titanium black, you fall into a black hole, literally, because no one wants to tell you how they do it. But you use a combination of 2 acids that you have to mix correctly. You can blacken it by heat and oil, but that's not the way they do it in the factories. They do it with a chemical reaction, and there's a, you have to mix yeah, it's a big rabbit hole, and you cannot, making titanium black. There's a it's hard to find. There's some people that use a technique. Yeah, like I said, you can heat it and dip it into oil, but that will warp scales. Um, and there's a way to do it with chemicals, including, I believe, the two that I just listed, the hydrochloric and the sulfuric. Blackening titanium. Yeah, they're doing it with heat. But like I said, when you go down this hole, it takes a long time to find the way that they do it in the factory. And like I said, okay, sulfuric and chromic acids. Here we go. Here's one of the processes. 30% sulfuric acid and chromium trioxide. And then there's another mix. I've got it saved somewhere. And it was a science article. It was like a patented article. I want the blackening of titanium. But like I said, it's one of the things where you have to mix the chemicals. You have to put one in first and then add the other slowly. And if you do it around the other way, you'll have an explosion. So I haven't gotten into that one quite yet, but it's coming. Ron Crow, yeah, that's the two acids I haven't used yet. The hydrochloric and the sulfuric acid are going to be for blackening titanium when I get around to it. Panarin. Yeah, the heat in WD-40 you can do on smaller parts, but when you start to do, unless you have a heat treatment oven that can evenly heat stuff evenly, then you will more than likely warp your scales by dipping them in WD-40. Who are we talking about? Instagram here? Let's see. Oh yeah, that's a clean looking knife. If that's one of his designs. Super clean. I like it. Oh, that's the Eclipse from KB. Yeah. I don't know why. Looks like it's a big boy too, so I don't know why I haven't looked for one of those. Wow, super cool knife. I mean, we've looked at it, but I guess didn't pay enough attention to it. I'm curious if it is available. If anybody has posted one on Reddit yet, I'm sure they have. Let's see what's going on with the price of it on Knife Swap. It's going to be hard to find it with the KB. Let's see. Let's go by new. With the Hinderer version posted so much. Yeah, it's probably so new they haven't been posted yet. In fact, I don't even know how many. KB knives have been posted yet. Wonder if I just hit KB. Yeah, there's the Devo Mash 4 days ago. Blue titanium sold for $120. There's a Devo I could have gotten for $120 and missed out on. It could have been my first Devo. Could have popped my Devo cherry. There's the Hoback Sumo again. 165 I could have got that one for. Oh man, and that's the version I want too. I think I'm going to message this guy since he bought it for 165 and tell him when he gets bored with it, I will buy it from him. So who bought it? Received Rockwall. Received Sumo. So here's what I do. I go to the guy that bought it. And then I say, I'll buy that KB Sumo from you when you get tired of it. Thanks. And that's how I find knives that aren't for sale and get great deals on them, because I know what he paid. Well, I say that, but I don't know if he YOLO'd it. I'll take the Sumo, please. So yes, so he... and this guy, Joey3 Golf, below him says, you will love it. I own 2. So there's another guy that's got 2 of them that I could message that he might sell one of them. But since he said he'll take the Sumo, I know he paid what the guy was asking, which is $165. So now I can possibly get it for cheaper than that. So good strategy. You have 6 Devo Mashes, Shady? That's awesome. See what else we got. KB listed here. What do y'all like DPX knives? So the DPX Hest makes some interesting looking knives. They made one. There was a clone of one of their knives actually that came out a while back. DPX knives. DPX gear. They have some odd looking little knives, but there's the Hest. Wow, that one looks pretty cool. Tribute to Billy Waugh. Learn about the knife he inspired. Wow, look at the back of look what pops out of the back of that knife. Pretty wild. Infinite Design. Haven't heard of that Android app. But yeah, they make let me see if Arizona Custom Knives has the one they made a clone of that I was talking about. It was the it's a little chode of a knife, one I was talking about. I think it was this one that they made a clone of, but maybe, and this was a few years back, might have been this Heat. It's definitely a little chode knife. Lion Steel, I guess, is a collabo on that one. Yeah, I think that was it. They used to make a clone of that knife, and it's not available anymore. They still float around on the secondary market occasionally. I don't know what's up with the notch in all their blades. I'm guessing it's for fire starting, maybe. There's one without it, the Heft 4 Assault. And I thought they had a little version of that Chode one without it too, but I'm not seeing it anywhere, so looks like most all of their knives have those notches in them, which I'm not a fan of. Could have sworn they made a version without the notch, but maybe not. Oh well. Ron Crow, have a great day, sir. I might get that woodpecker from you, Sever. We might work out a trade on it too. Yeah, and that Peregrine Falcon with the new button. You know, all they did was change the button really on it, but still looks pretty cool. And I bet they changed the button because of the way what happened with mine. With the button coming off, unscrewing off the middle right here, off the original Peregrine Falcon. But I noticed I did see the new one they were coming out with. And the Meteor looked good to me too. I like the Meteor as well. Let's see. Do you have a link to that new version? Because I saw it the other day. Let's see. The Kestrel I like too. I'm liking a lot of the stuff Ramet's been doing here recently, including this one, of course. And this is just a copy of their. This is the same exact unlocking mechanism that the Kingfisher has, that I have one of. All right, here's a link to it. Yeah, the agile blade shape is a little different, and I'm sure they fixed those buttons though, because of the way mine unscrewed and fell off. And that one has the cool scales that pop right off. But they're reusing the name, which I don't see why they did the Peregrine Falcon Agile version. I don't know why they reused that name. Like, they should have just moved on to a new name, in my opinion. But yeah, the locking system on that new one I just showed a second ago is super clean. And I guess if Ramet, is the ones that are using it, then why not capitalize on it? I'll show y'all how it works. Super cool. Let me get rid of some of these chemicals off the desk here. But yeah, that's a beautiful knife. Yeah, Ramet's really been doing their thing as of late. But right here, let me show you. Whoops. Where are they? They're right here. So the Kingfisher is one of their screwless design knives. That is just like the one. It's made basically the same way as the one I just showed. Hold on. The RT, well, where were we? Oh, yeah, right here. So this one as you can see, has no screws. And it's assembled the exact same way that this one is, with no screws. This one has a slight recurve on it, and I wish it didn't, but it has a pretty wild blade shape. But the way you disassemble this one is you take and grab the back spacer. Let me make some room here in case it falls apart. If y'all haven't seen this, this is pretty cool. You take and you grab the back spacer here, and you tilt it up. So you see how it popped out? So you tilt it up and you pull it out. Then you take a flathead for the pivot. It comes with a, I'm not sure if it comes with a tool or not. I don't think they want you taking it apart, so it might not. And I'm having issues getting this flathead in there, but no, there it goes. I actually need a smaller one. Let me grab my little kit that lays over here to the side and grab a smaller one. Can't see what we got going on here. Let's see. Probably this one right here would work. But I want to show y'all how this little hook system works on the inside. Oh, I had it loose. All right, so you do that. And then the knife basically comes apart. Hold on. All right, so there's 2 pins, so there's not much to it. So right here, as you can see, there's 2 pins, or maybe you can't see. Let me take the blade off so I don't cut myself. So there's 2 pins back here on the back. And then there is the other side where those 2 pins go into. The clip is attached on the inside of the scales. And when you set those 2 pins on there, what happens is the way this thing is shaped, it curls around one of the pins right there, and then it clips into the other pin. So you curl it around this top pin, and then it clips in and grabs that second pin, and it holds it super secure. So it's not even the opposite end isn't even pulling apart. How secure that is. But they've started using this, and it makes such clean lines on the knife. And I wish a lot of companies would start using this. But if you bump this, thing, then I guess your knife could fall apart. They've got the tolerances so good on these pins that, it would kind of be difficult, but yeah, that's how that one works. And then going back together is super quick too. Like, it's one of the quickest knives to disassemble, other than just needing that little screwdriver for if they could figure out how to do the pivot. Does it have a D-shaped pivot? Not sure, but something doesn't feel right with the pivot. Aha, there it goes. Whoa. The lock went way into place. What in the world? There it goes. I still don't think might have a D shape. Let's see. No, it doesn't. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe aha, there we go. But yeah, you just one screw, the pivot screw is all you got. And then that little clip, and the little clip just pops right back in and clicks into place, and you're good to go. The only other thing I will say about, yeah, and so this is their center button lock Peregrine Falcon. This is screwed on there, and mine actually fell off, so I'm glad they changed the button shape. And I'm glad they didn't put that recurve blade on this one. I'm glad it's just got a straight blade. But yeah, Remet quality, man, they've really been stepping up their game as of late. And I like a lot of their lines on a lot of their knives. Well, where that popped out of, but yeah, very interested in some of those newer ones. In fact, I think I'm going to have to get that one that, with that same lock that I just showed. I mean, same closing mechanism that I just showed. This one right here. I think I'm going to have to get one of those, because that is a super cool looking knife. And I think I'm going to have to grab one of those other, one of these too. And I agree, it does look like a CKF blade a little bit, the Evo. And if y'all were wondering, if y'all don't remember, when I said I've got to get my, or be ready to pay that $2,000 whenever they come into stock, I pre-ordered 3 of the Evo 1.1s, and they won't be ready till the end of this year. I got 2 of these versions because I knew they would sell good with the polished DLC. And so I got 2 of those to sell in order to make like $100 on each one of them and get mine for $200 cheaper. And the version I ordered is, of course, the I believe I got the yeah, no, not left, right, yep. I got the tumbled plain one. I don't know why they're blocking my right click on. Oh, there we go. So I got that version for myself. And 2 of these to sell. I don't know. Some people don't like the blade shapes of them, but I do. And it reminds me a lot of that Rex Shaman we looked at. Be Shady, welcome back. Got to give the wife some time when she needs it. I commend that. In fact, that Rex Shaman looks a lot like, unless I'm just imagining things. So let's see, that blade shape compared to that blade shape, where are we at? So the top of his grind, oh yeah, very similar. At the front of the knife, you can see how it goes up onto that back swedge, and it comes in about maybe a 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch at the top. Looks like this comes back a little further, but it comes into that top swedge the same exact way. So I'm pretty sure he got the... And then I like the back of his better, where it's got the little swoosh at the top of the swedge. And there's just goes swedge all the way to the back. I kind of like the way he did it there better. But that's a cool looking Shaman. I would love to. Now, if I ran across one of those at the Atlanta Blade Show, I might blow a little money on it. But he sells those Shamans for like $1,000. So that's a pricey shaman. The small boy is the Devo, I guess. Short boy. Small boy. Is Binks the cat? That sounds like a cat name. Binks the cat. And the puppers. Binks is a cool cat name. And that's a cool Spyderco shaman. And I should have bought that for $165. I need to add that keyword to my Android app that alerts me. I'm going to do that right this second. I'm going to add sumo as a keyword. I've got quite a few. That's how I got that. I've got Strix added for sure. I've got X Padre added. I've got Hilberg and Lion Blade Works, Kevin John, Integral, TS195, We Solid, Ator, TS142, and SLT. That's how I got the SLT the other day. It popped up, and within 30 seconds, I'd YOLO'd it. And a bunch of people were mad that I grabbed it. Well, not a bunch, but people congratulated me on a good grab because they knew they don't come available very often, and they don't, especially for that price. I mean, you see the last one it shows here is 3 years ago. And then the other day, 2 days ago, that one popped up, and when I YOLO'd it down here, I think I was the first. Yeah, I was the first comment. Nice snag. Somebody said. Said thanks. It only took me about 45 seconds after it was posted. I didn't even try to bargain on that one because I knew I wanted it for $130. And like I said, it'll go great next to the GPB, which is his other knife. And I actually got the GPB one from Knife Swap as well. There's one posted 5 years ago. There's a Kevin John Tylock clone. There's the GPB one with the same pivot. I didn't get mine. No, I take that back. Now that I think about it, I got mine from eBay. Kaiser GPB1. Yeah, it's not going to show up. Wonder if I'm logged in. Yep, I am. Be careful. You see all my orders. Can't remember what I paid for it. I think I passed it already, maybe. Lots of Two Sons. Yeah, there it is. I think I offered him $150 plus tax. Yeah, there's the one I got. Now I know which case that Kaiser case goes. I mean, which knife that Kaiser case goes with. I found that Kaiser case, and I didn't remember which one it came with. So that's always cool. TC Blades. Oh, you went into the shop and deleted the nub on your Shaman? Good deal, man. That nipple. I call it the nipple. But that nipple gets in the way, man, and it's so much better to close once you get rid of it. And it cleans out the lines on the knife, in my opinion. So much better, too. So good call. Yeah, it makes the lines on the knife, like the blade, look way better. And the only other thing I wanted to do that you might think about doing is after you delete the nipple, it leaves a little flat part right there. But I left enough room to where I can put the jimping in there, or jimping, as Still Addicted would say, to continue the jimping all along that nub so that it looks even on both sides. So I left enough meat in there on mine to actually add the jimping. But I thought that would be cool to even out the lines, because it does leave that, that when you take off the nub, it leaves that little place right there. But I tried to line it up and leave enough meat to where I could do jimping in it if I chose to. But it just cleans up the lines on the knife so much better, and it doesn't hit your finger, when you close it. You can, doesn't bump against your finger and hit you. So good call on that. Fancy Voodoo drops on the first two. The Null Knives, Voodoo, Sever. And to answer your question, yes, I forgot about the Hinderer. Forgot about the Hinderer clone, but yeah, we can work out something with the Hinderer and something else. Maybe some cash for that woodpecker. Because I've been wanting a woodpecker. That's a good deal on it. So don't publicize that that's for sale too much more until you talk to me about it. We need to get that other trade done, because I'd like to get that Loxay in hand. And now that with the $60 off code I had, it brought the knife down to $320. So I think that's a good fair trade. What we figured out for those three for it. So we'll try to get that done in the next day or two. And my buddy, not sure, I haven't talked to him again, but he mentioned one of my buddies that bought that knife from you in the Discord. He wasn't trying to act shady or anything, but he just mentioned that the label had been made on one, but it hadn't actually been sent out yet. I'm sure you've got it sent by now. That was a few days ago, and I hadn't heard anything else from him. So, but I know sometimes making those labels is so easy. You just make the label and then you don't drop the box off for a couple of days. So, and some post office suck about updating that stuff. So you could have already dropped it off by the time it still just showed label made. But I guess it's the Buckaroo Bonsai guy that bought, the Annex or whatever. No, is that what he bought? No, that was Ed that bought that, wasn't he? I'm talking about the the one, the mini Momo, is it the mini Momo? Yeah, the mini Momo, the one I was talking about. The Timascus Mini Momo. Oh, that was delivered. He got it. It's all good. Yeah, it was a few days ago. He didn't really. He said he wasn't worried at all, but buying from a new person, I kind of get it. I told him. I said it's probably just the post office that didn't update when he dropped it off or whatever. Yeah, I really like that Dawn 3 too. Been wanting to get one of those. TC price. Somebody posted one on Reddit, and everybody thought it was since it was in the Chinese thread, everybody thought it was a clone of something, and I was like, no, it's an original knife. But I really want to grab one of those. Let me see if I can find that post in Chinese Knives where I commented and said, no, it wasn't somebody asked, let's see. Yeah, here it is. Somebody said, I'm not familiar with this model. Who is the maker? And I said, TW Price, Best Tech OEM. And then he said, so this isn't a clone? And I was like, no. Everybody just automatically assumes that knives are clones now, I guess, when they post them on Chinese Knives. And it's because a lot of people don't know that some of these American makers, like TW Price, gets companies like Best Tech to OEM for him. Oh, y'all didn't see that at all. That was stupid. I was showing the Dawn, and then I showed the post the guy made of the Dawn, and then down here the guy says, I'm not familiar with this model. Who is the maker? And I answered TW Price, Best Tech. Then he asked if it was a clone, and I said no. That's a cool clip, though. Cool knife, too. A lot better than that clip. Still addicted. Good morning, sir. I like how you embrace the jimping on your new video. I just said it. Look, you just said the same exact thing. That's pretty funny. It's 30 seconds off, so I said that about the time you were typing it. But I thought it was funny when I saw the title. I was just talking about the shaman a minute ago, wanting to add some jimping. And I said jimping. Just as a throwback. Yep, Jinx. Gotcha. Man, I haven't heard Jinx in like forever. Gotta be 5 or 6 years or longer since I've heard somebody say Jinx. Yeah, what's up with that YJ01 V1 steel? Well, there you go. So I talk and he typed that 30 seconds ago. That's pretty crazy. I'm in tune with y'all today. Jimping ain't easy. Yeah, jimping. I'll tell you why I try to pronounce words a little better than most around here. It's because I grew up in the actual city of Nashville, and all my family is from a little small town called Woodbury, or Woodbury. It's Woodbury, and they all sound super hick and country, and so like I tried to like go above and beyond to say jimping with a G, and I still say it country. I mean, I'm still Southern, and all these Northerners still think I sound crazy, but I try to not sound like my family. Just because growing up, you know, like everybody always makes fun of Southerners on TV about how stupid we are, and I always felt that I wasn't stupid, so I didn't want to get a prejudgment of being stupid just because I said something crazy, which I'm not saying people in the country sound stupid, but I'm saying that's just a preconceived notion that people have. So like I said, I go out of the way to say nine instead of nine. And there's other words like far, like you're going to go build a far. I say fire. Like I try to enunciate all the letters. Fire, far, go build a far. Over in the holler. And I'll tell you, one Southern word that I absolutely hate is the word creek. Like, if you're talking about a creek, say the word creek. Don't say crick. Like crick, you know, we were walking down by the creek. Oh my God, that word drives me nuts. I listen to a bunch of podcasts, and a lot of people on there. I listen to like some Bigfoot podcasts, Bigfoot Society and Bigfoot Chronicles, just bored at work at night, and they always talk about creeks. He walked down by the creek. And I'm like, it's not a creek. What is a creek? Down by the bayou. I didn't ever watch that Instagram video you posted. Yeah, that's how I do it. Is just using I wrap the sandpaper and just put it in a vise and just pull it straight back. Bio, pecans, yeah, pecan or pecan. Like, I hate when people say pecan. Pecan pie. Pecan pie. I say pecan pie, but it's not pecans. Yeah, but Discord pick. Tucson's forever known for switching up the blade steels on the same model knife. I think they offer that YJ01 on a bunch of knives, and they offer the same knives in D2 and M390 a bunch of times. I always try to get the M390 versions, of course. Pecan is a nut. Pecan goes under your bed. Yeah, Tucson is infamous for changing up blade steels on the same models. What are the two versions, let's see, that I have listed in my alerts? Yeah, I thought one of them was close to that. The TS142 is one of the ones that I have on my alerts, so anyone pops up. Let me go see what that is. I'm pretty sure they're the integrals. I don't know why else I would have them added to my alerts. Oh yeah, the 142 is that weird brown micarta one that I don't like really, but there's one Ed. Yeah, I agree. Or when they say music, like music, they add an R before the U in music. They say music. Music. So I label all my folders now when I'm making a music folder. I name them music. MRUSIC. Yeah, people can't say library at all. Yeah, the TS142 is ugly with that carbon fiber and micarta. Like, why did they put both? But I've got it added, and then I've also got the TS195. Now that's one I will definitely take if I find one. That's the Grail one I'm looking for, the TS195. That's that one. I think that's probably my favorite integral. Yeah, let me ask you a question. Yeah, I'm fixing to tell you. Now, I use fixing all the time. And that doesn't mean fixing something. It means I'm about to. I'm fixing to go to the store. I use fixing all the time. And a lot of Northerners I'll be like, what do you mean you're working on it? I'm like, no, I don't mean I'm working on going to the store. Probably. I say probably all the time when I'm typing it. Yep, that TS 195 though, we'll have to fight over that if somebody else, if Ed finds it first. Unless he's already got one, which I don't think he does. And is that the one that's dangerous? So my sister has a TS 100 for sale for $200. And that's the going rate. That's what this one sold for on Knife Swap. But she has one of these for sale. I think that might be the dangerous one with the open top. No, that's not it. That's the one that says Tucson down the back of it. She wants $200 for hers, and that's what this one sold for on Knife Swap. And that was 2 years ago before they came even. She said she wanted more, but she could probably get more. I don't see many listed at all. They're hard to find. Ed, find out, yeah, if you can find me one. Still addicted, have a good one. And she has a TS, I think it's a one, let me see what it is. Yeah, TS 134 for sale also. Which is that's not it. She doesn't have the wooden one, that's for sure. Maybe it's, yeah, she has that one right there. That's a decent looking knife. An M390. They're both an M390. She actually has a few for sale. Those are the only two I ask about. Well, guys, I'm gonna start winding it down here in a second. I've got to get a nap before I go help my daughter again. Got to get the rest of my split shift sleeping. Before I go help my daughter again today. Got to put that one back in its case. Hope y'all have a great Wednesday or Thursday. Sorry. Still Wednesday night for me, basically. I feel like I've been awake all night, but I did get a little nap, so I knew I'd have to work at my daughter's today, and I knew I'd be extra tired if I tried to stay up all night, so I did a little 30-minute insomnia video where I watched a video of a guy refinishing an old gravity knife, military gravity knife. If y'all want to go watch that, it's on my insomnia live video in the middle of the night last night. Pretty cool little military gravity knife that he worked on. I like some of those refinishing videos where those guys really get in there and make new parts for stuff and all kinds of stuff. Be Shady, I appreciate it, brother. You take care and have a good one. I got to box this one up and ship it off tonight. I did get Still Addicted's little little hex key sent off, so hopefully he'll get that in a few days. If anybody wants a good price on a drop bear 154 cm or a Kaiser original, those are both for sale. I will post them on the Discord today. And this Manix 2 XL, I said I'd get a price on it. I need to look again. I'll do that today. I got to box this one up and get it out. Drummer Sir, you have a good one. I'm sure Pete's busy at work. Just hopping in when he can. Mr. Ed, if you will check on that TS-195 and shoot me a price on it, I would appreciate it. Sever 7, I will get with you today, and we need to get those knives, that trade worked out, and maybe the trade on the woodpecker. And then TC, if you want my other inbox, brand new TS430, you can have it for $80. I believe they're $99 maybe with 10% off, so you can get them for like $90, so you can save $10 on it, brand new. If you want one of these for $80. I've got the green anode one I would sell for $100. I believe the anodized ones are 130 with like $13 off, so figured they'd be a little over 120 with the 10% off, so I thought 100 would be fair on it, but it's brand new too. I've got 2 of them plus this one. The TS430 is a great knife, man. If you want to, if I was going to suggest a first Tucson for somebody, this would be one of them. Me and somebody asked about it on the Discord, and I said just find a shape and style you like and run with it, and you won't really have a bad experience with Tucson. I said, yeah, I know White Mountain Knives has them, but I just don't want to pay that. Yeah, if you want one for $80 shipped, let me know, TC Blades. But yeah, Ed, I know they're on White Mountain Knives. I want to pay around $150, $140. I don't want to pay $215 for it or $200 with the 10% off. I'd like to pay $130, but I would go as high as $150. These are great little knives. Everything about it, ergos, milling, good clip, blade shape, sound, action. Oh, and TC Blades, I'm going to put together a bunch of 5-knife packages. So what I've decided I'm going to do is I'm going to take those Sativian and Ephengros. I'm going to find the Amazon price on them, since they've never been used or never cut anything or never been carried. I'm going to find the price on the Amazon, and then I'm going to do them half price, and I'm going to do them in 5-knife bundles. And I'm going to assemble some bundles to where some of the ones that I've dyed, I'm not going to put all the ones that I've used RIT dye on in one bundle, but I'm going to create about 4 or 5 of those bundles. And so I'm guessing I'll give you some 5-knife bundles for like $75. So most of those Sativian and Ephengros are around $30. So half price would be like $15. So I'm thinking around $70 to $75 for 5-knife bundles would be around where I'm at. But I'll let Jed have first pick on the bundles he wants. And if he wants to pick a bundle, if he wants to move a couple of knives from one bundle over to another bundle or something like that, then we can do that. But I thought I would do them half price since they're brand new and never been used, and sell them 5 at a time. Since I've got probably 40, I could put eight of those bundles together. So that's what I'm going to do. And if it works out where they end up being $60, $12 a piece, then one of those bundles might be that. These two are for sale also, like I said, but I'm going to keep this Corgi just because it's a little bit different, and I only have a few Vostides. I've got a raccoon and a raccoon cub. Well, no, I gave away the raccoon cub on the giveaway, so all I've got is a raccoon right now. Oh, and a Psyop. But I'm going to keep this little Corgi because it's a cool little it looks more like a gentleman's knife. I'm probably going to change the clip to a silver one. I think the Civivi or Kaiser clips with the 2 holes should fit on here, and I've got some extra ones of those. So I think he changed it because the hardware on this side is silver, and I think he put this new clip on there, and I don't know why. I think the black looks stupid on it when it's got gold and silver. So why not just go with silver? So I'm going to do that. Like I said, y'all have a great Thursday. Tomorrow morning will be the drop. See what's coming new this week or next week. Y'all got any questions, comments? Hit me up on my email. Y'all know the deal. You can always find me at my email, or you can always find us at the Discord. Y'all have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.